Welcome, sports fans, to the latest S&M production of the Sunday Night Sports Nerd Show. It is the most absurd 90 minutes of anything goes, smack talk, and a whole lot more. Every Sunday night, the sports nerd joins forces with three charismatic co-hosts who are a select group of sports nerds with attitude, better known in Nerd Nation as the Rampack. We are four of the most loudmouth, smack-talking nerds around, coming at you with some sick rips and rants, which may be just enough to make you pee your pants. So listen up, Nerd Nation. Let's rise and welcome the legend himself. He is the founder, he is the host, and he is the star of the Sports Nerd Show. Coming to you live, straight out of Lakeland, Florida, Scott, the Sports Nerd, right? Ho, 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 ho. Well, there you have it, Nerd Nation. Another.
Whoa. All right. Thank you, Elliot. Again, technical difficulties on the Sports Nerds. Go figure. Anyway, hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Nerds. I am your host, Scott, the Sports Nerd, right? And along with my co-host, Elliot, Big E Lamba, Bills Mafia member, John G. Olson, and soon to be here. How about them Cowboys, Mr. Ken Olson?
Wow. Spit it out, Buttercup. Wow. Today, Junior.
Ken Koslow, excuse me. Thank you.
Didn't we change that to what about them Cowboys?
What about them Cowboys? I don't know.
I'm going to mute myself until the birds fly away. Please.
Okay.
Because it's not. I think it sounds much more appropriate. What about them Cowboys?
What about them Cowboys?
What about it?
We'll go with. There he is, Mr. Ken Costo. And instead of how about them Cowboys, we'll say, what about them Cowboys? Anyway.
Oh, no, nothing's happened this week.
Well, you guys didn't sign Odell, so, you know.
Yeah, no, the Ravens did. We'll get to that in just a minute. Tonight we're going to discuss the week it is in the sports world. And we are live each and every Sunday night on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, and on the blockchain, courtesy of Vim.tv. If you do miss the live broadcast, we are If you do miss the live broadcast, you can watch your replays on Spotify, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, and on the blockchain via peak.d. Gentlemen, happy Easter.
Peak.d, huh?
Peak D, whatever. Peak D.
Thank you.
Peak D, yes. Thank you. Gentlemen, happy Easter to those that celebrate. I know John doesn't, but I know Ken does. And it is a Sunday, and there is lots of boring Masters propaganda to speak of today, John. I know you're going to be thrilled.
Is there lots, or is there who won and let's move on?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll do a who won. And we will also do as to the meaning of the victory, as to what it means in historical sense, because there is some kind of historical issues going on here with that. So we'll talk about that. But the big news of the day, if you want to call it big news, is that the Baltimore Ravens have signed Odell Beckham Jr. to a one-year contract worth to $18.5 million.
But yet they won't sign their quarterback.
No.
They're going to have a quarterback machine to throw to him.
What did I tell you about the Baltimore Ravens? Come on.
They don't want to pay. They don't want to pay him. That's just it.
That's stupid.
This kid is getting so disrespected right now. It's not fun.
Who's going to throw the ball to Odell?
I just said they're going to put together a quarterback, a passing machine, throw it to him.
They're going to have to.
Operate it remotely.
Right.
You're going to have to get a robot or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
No, Brett, does not mean that Odell is going to shut up and want out. No, it's not. It's not going to be
Fat chance of that.
Yeah. Odell is not going to stop talking on Twitter or whatever he's doing, Instagram, whatever. It's not going to happen. You know what? Odell kept talking in the offseason about it's not about the money, it's about who cares. Yeah, well, you know what? He got almost what the rumors were out there that he wanted. He almost got
$18 million for a dude who hasn't played in 2 years.
Right.
Coming off
an ACL injury.
Second ACL.
Yes.
What a good luck, Baltimore.
I'm sure probably behind him.
Yeah, good luck, Odell. When you have a team that hasn't even shown any desire to sign their quarterback to a long-term deal, they want to put a franchise. They put the restricted franchise tag on him, is what they call it.
They've got to re-sign him now. You'd think, like all the time.
No, he's unrestricted because he's able to deal with anybody he wants to.
Yeah.
But nobody wants to deal with him because.
Well, the Browns ruined that for him. I don't know if you guys believe that or not, but the Browns ruined
it
with the contract.
Watson bullshit ruined it for him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
because he wants a fully guaranteed contract, and the Ravens aren't willing to do that. So
leave it to Cleveland,
Not with his injury history.
And he is often injured. That's true. Yeah. So I mean, Jackson is often injured, but
that's right.
And we've discussed time after time on this show about how we don't believe he's a great pocket passer, which he's not.
So the latest rumor has Zeke landing with the Chargers?
No, Philadelphia is what I heard.
1 year, $9 million with the Chargers is what I'm
really?
hearing. Yeah.
Ezekiel Elliott with the Chargers?
Yep.
Oh, they can. Okay, so the Chargers can enjoy another year of mediocrity in
So where does Eckler go then?
Well, that's just that. They told Eckler he could seek a trade if he wants to.
Dude, what? Let's just say. Let's do a little foreshadowing. My kid's in high school. He's really getting into football. He's like, Dad, I'm really excited. I think I got a shot of making it. What position do you think I should play? I'll probably tell him, don't ever think of becoming a running back. If someone tells you want to play a running back, actually, you'd probably have a longer career as a fullback.
Or a tight end.
Or a tight end. Don't do it. Like
running
these kids. Dude, dime a dozen. It's so bad. It's crazy.
They take a horrific
and it's a passing game too. So
yeah, Brett. Brett puts up the receiving room, the wide receiver room of the Ravens. I'm not impressed with their wide receiver room.
Oh well, come on, Nelson Aguilar.
Yeah, Mr. the guy that drops half the passes that are thrown to him in the first place. So it is what it is. But
Rashada played like Jessica Bateman.
Yes. Or Justine Bateman, excuse me.
Or Justine.
Nelson Aguilar is the biggest example I can think of in the difference between college football and pro football. Because in college, he caught just about everything that was thrown to him.
Yep.
We've had this discussion before that talent in college doesn't always translate into the NFL.
Nope.
Look at Johnny Manziel. Look at Tim Tebow. Look at
It's
several.
all about the tempo, the speed, the power,
and the space between the ears, Elliot. The space between the ears.
Well, in some cases, yeah, that's very true. We can start with Baker Mayfield on that one,
right?
Which
Tampa Bay signed, by the way. He's not going to outplay him.
I already seen the little swashbuckler guy with his face on it.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah, so Baker Mayfield is now a Buccaneer. So
you guys come out and they yakety yak, and they're supposed to be this next big thing, and they fizzle out. Why? Because they can't keep up with the pro game. If you don't have the speed, agility, this, that, or the other, you better have a tremendous football mind to keep up with some of these defenses and stuff, because if not, you're fucking toast.
Yeah. Brett, who's Tim Boyle? I have no idea who Tim Boyle is.
Oh, Tim Boyle, yeah, he was a backup. Wasn't he a backup for the Patriots or the Lions or something?
I've never heard of Tim Boyle.
Never heard of him.
Well, I mean, who's he going to be competing against? Zach Wilson? Really?
Yeah, the Aaron Rodgers deal seems to be far and getting less and less likely to happen.
That's funny. That's funny because according to everyone, the Jets had the AFC East wrapped up.
If they could have got him, it would have made that a little bit more valid to speak of.
Right.
But
I don't know, man. To be brutally honest with you, I think he's on the back nine of his career.
Well, and I don't say that he's going to perform to Aaron Rodgers levels from a few years back. You know what I'm saying, when he was MVP and all that.
Yeah.
But he still has a mind for the game.
Aaron Rodgers in the back nine of his career, you said?
And he can
He's in the back
compensate
Is
for
that a golf reference by John G. Olson? Really? Seriously?
What's that? Sorry.
Is that a golf reference? You said? Are you the one that said the back nine of his career?
Yeah, dude,
That's a golf reference by John Olson, ladies and gentlemen. Just write this down. Okay?
Someone explained to him that
never cease.
He's on the 16th hole.
Right.
If maybe even further than that.
But yeah, I mean, if it doesn't translate from college to pros, then it's not gonna work.
Right.
And then you look, how many more people are more successful when they're drafted later than when they're drafted earlier?
No.
People come from out of nowhere that you don't even expect, and you know what I'm saying. But that's a credit to the scouting teams, you know what I'm saying, the talent scouts and all that, for the teams that are able to do that. Because there's teams out there that do it, you know, it's a knack for them to go out there and get low round picks and turn them into, you know, stars and stuff. So, I mean, Patriots do that, have done that many times, you know, and other organizations as well. So it doesn't necessarily mean that because you're getting the bottle on the top shelf, that there ain't something on the bottom shelf that could be just as good.
Bottom shelf is usually the one where the kids all pull everything off.
Well, Brett, you got to understand, Kelsey's used to spiking balls, not throwing them to home plate. So
yeah, he spiked it really good.
Yeah, he did. So what else is going on in the NFL, guys? Anything else you want to bring up about the NFL?
We are very close to the draft, and I'm excited.
What are we? 3 weeks in the draft, right? 3 weeks.
2 weeks. Right?
Here's a signing I'm kind of curious about. Richie James Jr., former Jets wide receiver from last season, just signed with the Kansas City Chiefs. He was drafted by the 49ers, then he got traded to the Giants. Mm-hmm. The Chiefs just picked him up. He's a really good receiver. He was probably their top two receiver last year, and the year before he did really well. Mm-hmm. So he's got the talent out there, and I think he's going to do well under the Chiefs with Mahomes. And not only that, but his father comes in for a haircut every Saturday to the barbershop. So Richie James Sr. gets his haircut at our shop. So that's always fun.
Let me see real quick. Let me take a look and see if there's anything on here I want to see. Give me a second.
We're about to present John with his green jacket.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Who?
John Rahm.
Spaniard.
Cool. Great.
He lives in Florida, though, doesn't he?
John's about as excited.
He is an alumni of Arizona State.
Hey, Elliot. Playing it is a lot of fun.
Florida.
Okay.
Hey, I'll play that shit on PlayStation any day of the week.
Dude,
huh?
Great ball. Love it. Fantastic. Sitting there watching it, I literally
the new PGA Tour game that EA Sports released just Friday has Augusta National on it. So yes, I did buy it. So yes, I've got it.
Wow.
Let's see. Tyreek Hill made the announcement this week that he's going to retire at age 31 after the 2025 season.
Tyreek Hill said that.
Yes.
Why? Like, what is the why even say that? I don't get it.
Because he doesn't want to play any longer than 31.
Because he's got a lot of other things he wants to do.
Made up his mind that he's got other things in life that he wants to accomplish.
I'll bet I know one.
Miami's going to have him for 2 more seasons, and then that's it.
What do you think, Ken? What do you think? Why?
He's setting his eyes toward the 2028 Olympics in LA.
That could
track and field for a sprinter.
That could be.
You think he'd have a shot? What would he do? 100-meter?
100
Dude, he
meters, 100,
smoked some,
possibly
he
200.
smoked some people the other day.
Relay.
These guys are really lucky that Usain is like old now.
Usain Bolt.
No
I'd
one
love
is
to
beating
see
him.
Usain go up against Tyreek Hill.
Dude, no one beats him. No one.
That would be insane, dude. Usain versus Tyreek. That would be insane. I'd
Congratulations,
watch
John.
that.
Well, Usain's long retired. He's not coming back. But we got.
If he wants to retire at 31, then so be it. Who cares?
Well, yeah. I mean,
If he retires in 2025 at 31, that means he'll be 34 for the LA Olympics in 28.
Well, is it 28?
Yeah, 2028.
Okay, so he'll be
2024 is next year
35.
in Paris. Yeah.
And at 35, he's not going to be as fast as he is at 31.
well, maybe
Well,
he has other
probably
things
not.
in mind.
He probably
You know what I'm
thinks he
saying?
is, but
Right.
All I'm saying is, but he sees shit like what happens to Tua and stuff like that. Makes you think twice.
I still want to
You know
see
what
a
I'm saying?
match race between Tyreek Hill and DK Metcalf. I'd love to see them go 100 meters.
I still remember when
One
DK
on
changed.
one.
I still remember when he chased down what's his name from Arizona,
Oh, yeah.
Buda Baker.
Buda Baker. We didn't see that coming, did he?
No, he chased him down hard, man.
That is the greatest rundown I've ever seen.
It was
That
pretty.
one beat the one Leon Lett. I mean, not Leon Lett, but the other Cowboys.
Cowboys. Cowboys. All right. What else going on?
NBA playoff brackets have been set.
Let me say this. This is a
A
week.
what?
This is the time of year
Schedule?
Cowboys love it because the Stars are in the playoffs. The Mavericks have folded and are gone.
What do you think about that? Is that a big deal? You think?
What, the Mavericks?
The Mavericks are taking at the last game of the
Watch-
season.
Watch out for that team getting broken up in the offseason.
Yeah, the
Dude, what's with
Rangers are doing fairly well. That means nobody's paying attention to the Cowboys, and there you go. So
What's up with Rudy
Oh,
Gobert
yeah.
punching his teammates?
Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, I did see that.
And just think of all the first round picks Minnie gave up for that.
yeah,
Yeah. Rudy Gobert swings at Kyle Anderson. Jaden McDaniels fractures his hand. And
Holy shit.
they sent the Timberwolves sent Rudy Gobert home after that. That happened today.
Wow.
On the last day of the season, it happened today. He threw, yes. Rudy Gobert sent home for swinging at teammate Kyle Anderson, and Jaden McDaniels fracturing his right hand. That's what happened today. So Minnesota lost two of their players in one fell swoop.
Yeah, well, if that's what has to happen, that's what has to happen. You know what I'm saying? If you lose because of that, that's on you. Did you see the Golden State scored 157 points today in regulation?
Against who?
Portland.
Well, there you go.
They won by 56 points in Portland.
157 to 101. Holy shit.
I'm like, holy fuck, that's crazy.
157-101. Yes, that's correct.
Wow.
So the playoff positions are pretty much already set in the Eastern Conference.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Guess how many games of NBA I've watched this
They're
year?
all set.
Probably none, John, knowing you.
Literally not a second.
Well, the Raptors are in the play-in.
Don't care. The end, and I never thought I would say this. The NBA has turned me off so much from the prima donna players that it's a player-run league. I don't want anything to do with it. Could care less.
You're not just LeBron, but you're talking about overall.
All of them, every single last one of them. Like find me guys that like are loyal to the teams, and I can count them on one hand. It's like Dame.
Oh, okay. You mean the loyalty to teams?
The loyalty to teams, to just that, you know, like they sign these 2-year contracts, then they
It's
they
not
have
about
their
team,
rest
it's about
time, they
me.
never play.
Yeah.
And think of this is what kills me. I'm going to go on a rant.
Go.
You're a father and you're taking your kid to his first NBA game. And you know what? LeBron is like his favorite player, and you save up, and the Lakers come to town once a year, and
Right.
he's there, and you're pumped up. Your kid is so excited.
And that one game,
And then he has a
decided to
rest
sit
day,
Sit down.
a load management day. Like these guys are just
Load management. You should hear.
I don't
You
have
should hear guys like Michael Jordan talk about that.
Yeah, I
load
was gonna say I don't have the stats, for it, but how many 82 game seasons did Michael play fully? How many?
Nine.
It's not even
Nine.
Michael. I'm talking
9.
everyone in that era.
9. That's the most in
Everybody.
NBA history.
John, this is what I have been trying to tell you for 10 years. The NBA of this era is so freaking
I
soft.
hate it, man. I have no
soft.
desire to like.
It's more about money than anything else.
Yes.
Dude, I get it. Like, make your money, man. Like, I have
Let's
no
take it
problem
back to
with
the
that.
source.
But like, if you're gonna make $25 million a year, play 82 games a season.
Yeah.
Take it back to the
Unless
source.
you're hurt. You know
You know what I'm saying? It's the money. That's all it comes down to. In the end, that's all it is.
have no
And I've been trying to tell you this for 10 years, John. I mean,
yeah,
the
you know
NBA is-
what really helped me? This is anyone that's really pissed off at sports, just don't get cable, man. It changes your life. Dude, like I have 2 things for sports. I have my Oilers and I have my DAZN for NFL.
Yeah.
Anything else? Don't pay attention. Don't care. It's out of my frame.
I did get MLB.TV this year.
Don't care about that either. Apparently the Jays won today.
I get it free with T-Mobile. You get it free with T-Mobile?
Yes, I got it free with T-Mobile.
Yeah.
Yeah. On my new Galaxy phone that I got.
Oh, yeah, I got me a new one too.
Yeah, I got a Galaxy 20. I got a 21, so I picked it up.
I got the 20
Well,
plus.
she stepped up from Jitterbug, man. That's good.
Yeah, I had LG so before, but yeah,
I got the 20 plus.
I got a Galaxy 21.
This is the size of the keys on Scott's, phone, right? Like, like.
Hey, BlackBerry.
Yeah, it's a BlackBerry. Yeah. Jitterbug, man. Jitterbug.
Crackberry.
I'm not that old. 21's a good upgrade. I mean, it's only 2 years old, so I mean, come on now.
Dude,
I couldn't afford the 23 because it's freaking.
How do you not afford it? It's all free. It's zero. They just pay monthly.
You know what? My phone bill with the phone.
Oh, I can't wait to hear this. Like Americans complaining about prices of things.
Because I got
it's
the
like,
watch.
here's
too.
the world's smallest violin. Let's hear. How much do you pay?
I got the watch too.
Okay, and wait till you hear what I pay. But go ahead.
$122 a month.
Ooh, $122. I pay $250 a month for me and my wife.
Because you're on Apple. That's why.
Okay,
No,
so that's
it's
about
got nothing to do with
each.
it. It's got nothing to do with the phone, sir.
That's about 125 each, and he's paying 122. So
Yeah.
He's got a watch. He's got a watch and his thing.
Yeah.
well, they threw that in, but he's
Wow,
paying
you
for
still
that.
pay for it. They
He's
throw it
paying
in, but
for
you still
he's
pay
paying for that under the radar.
Yeah, under the radar.
the
You take
phone-
that off, and all of a sudden,
The
it's
phone bumped my
$100.
bill up about 30, and the watch was an additional 20. So that's
Who's
better.
your provider, John?
Sorry,
Because with the LG it was paid
My
off. and I was
provider,
only paying
Telus.
70 a
Just
month.
remember,
I can't hear. Everybody's talking at
nothing
the
in
same
this
time.
world is free. There's always a price to pay.
Telus Mobility.
Okay.
Yeah, there's only like
Always a
three
price.
major providers up here, and all the offshoots. They're all owned by the big 3. So
Right.
you don't have choices up here. If you want cell service, you have to pay out the yin yang. So I love it when Americans complain about prices of stuff. It's like, oh please, like what are you paying a gallon of gas right now? What are you paying? $3?
About $3.20 a month.
Ooh.
Right now,
Well, our
$3.30.
shot up to $3.59.
Yeah, we're at about $7 a gallon right now. So
Now is that
You guys-
American? Is that
you guys are
American
paying
or Canadian?
no,
California-
I'm
you guys are
talking
paying
well, even if
California
it was
prices.
American, it doesn't matter.
You're
What's
paying
that?
California prices. That's
Oh,
what you're
dude, it's you guys have it so good there. Sometimes I think people in
Well,
America
in some areas,
well, across the whole board, what are you paying for a Big Mac meal? What's a Big
I
Mac
don't know.
meal?
I don't need a
Big
McDonald's.
Mac meals.
I've sworn off McDonald's for years now.
Yeah.
No, but you know what I mean. Like it just $6, maybe $7, maybe. Yeah, Big Mac meal up here is like
meal,
$13,
I don't know. But a Big Mac by itself.
I know an Impossible Whopper at Burger King is $3 on Wednesdays.
Yeah, man, good luck up here. You can't get a small fries up here for $3.
A Big Mac by itself is about $3.95.
Yeah, there's no way up here. Like it's just. Anyways, that's my rant. Because it's not you guys. Because you guys are pretty good. But on social media, there's a lot of your countrymen and countrywomen that love to complain about pricing and stuff.
You know
The
what?
rest of the world just sits there going,
that's mostly
They're the same ones who ate paste in schools.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, I saw that. Very good.
Americans would complain if they were hung with a new rope, John. You know, they seek out things to complain about. So
kills me. And you know,
par for the course.
The funny thing is when guys from the UK and me start watching the same thing, UK pays more than Canada does for gas.
Yeah. Well, UK, absolutely.
That complaining comes from the Midwest, okay, and those flatland states, all that stuff up there, Wyoming and Oklahoma, all that. That's where all the fucking complaining is coming from.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't complain. I mean, $3.59 is $3.59. It is what it is. But I know that they're charging $7 in California. Dude, you can't live in Hawaii. Hawaii's a state, right?
Yeah, Hawaii is a state, and their
prices
are out.
They pay more for shit in Hawaii than they do in Canada.
That's true.
Well, and not only that, but Hawaii is also more expensive than California. If you
yes, it is.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I remember me and my wife were just, poops and giggles. We were just like, oh, we're sick of Canada. We want to live in a nice tropical place. Let's look at some island homes. See, because, you watch these shows on TV where it's like, oh, you can live on the island.
You've been talking about Jamaica for years, John.
There's no way. Well, yeah, down in the Caribbean, there's some islands. You got to put up with a few things, but you can live down there. But Hawaii, forget about it.
No way.
Like,
See all this behind me and everything? In Hawaii, all of this costs
what's really nice?
$1 million.
Yes. What's really nice? Costa Rica.
Everybody's
moving to Costa Rica.
It is apparently supposed to what do they call it? The Switzerland of Central America. That's what they call it.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And it's really nice out there. I know people that have gone there. I know people that are from there.
I used to work with a lady who's from Costa Rica. She loves it, and it's pretty cost friendly down there. So
yeah. So that would be the destination, I think.
Yeah. It's.
I'd have to learn Spanish, and that's not going to happen. So
fairly stable government.
Yeah, exactly. Fairly.
It's one of the only stable governments in that region, believe it or not. So.
Pretty much. Well, you got to give shout outs to our buddy. Where is he down in? Is it Honduras or Guatemala? The guy is like basically said, "Come and live down here. Don't pay any income tax. Everything you can buy is now legal tender with Bitcoin." Like, was it Honduras or Guatemala? I think it was Honduras who did it. Okay. Dude, great, good for him. Love it.
Speaking of legal, is you've heard too, Scott, that now you can open carry guns in Florida?
Yes, the state government has now allowed residents to carry concealed weapons without a permit.
So weird. It's like such
no permit, and this was passed shortly after the Tennessee shooting. So I mean, it's just
so weird.
Do you remember the first state that did that?
Was it Texas?
Bingo.
So open carry is basically
your governor is just a carbon copy of our governor.
He is, except the only difference between Abbott and
your governor is about to pardon a guy that was convicted of murder by a jury of his peers.
Look, if you don't need a license to carry something concealed, then basically you're open carrying it.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So open carry is basically you can just have it on your holster and just walk around.
Yeah, correct.
Walk into a store, just like in Arizona. When I first moved to Arizona in 1980, I'm walking around. I'm seeing people with guns on their hips and shit like that. What the fuck?
Like, is it like okay? People having the right to bear arms, I get it. Whatever. Hi, Ron. That's part of American DNA. I get it, but why show it off? Like that's just like
it's a macho thing.
Because guys are afraid of their penis size. They have to use a gun to do.
Or getting punched in the nose.
They use their guns as testosterone.
Correct.
I call it gun
weird, man. It's weird. Like I look. I mean,
you know what, guys? I've never owned a gun. Never wanted to own a gun. Have I shot a gun? Yes, I use.
They're fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's fun.
Shooting is fun. Okay, but no, I don't have any desire to own a weapon or shoot at, because the only thing guns are used for is to shoot people, and
I still have the 410 shotgun my dad got me for my 17th birthday, 15th birthday.
Somebody playing congas over there?
yeah. What are you doing, Ron?
I don't know. Ron's playing with something.
You're making noise, Ron. Stop
Okay,
doing
Ron?
that.
Making noise. Maybe it's the TV here.
Oh.
Hey, you know
Turn off the
what?
hockey and join us, John. Or Ron.
Yeah, Boston Bruins.
What are you watching Boston? You know they're going to win anyway, Ron. So what are you watching Boston for? Come on, get out of here.
Well,
Really?
I would rather that they set the record against the Philadelphia Flyers than the Montreal Canadiens.
I didn't see that.
I understand that. Yes, absolutely.
I tell you what, I watched 2 games yesterday. I watched the Stars against Las Vegas, and I saw Boston and New Jersey last night.
Yeah,
Both of those games had playoff feels already.
right. Yeah,
They
well,
Playoffs have already started.
I'll tell you what,
Playoff
the Bolts have no playoff momentum whatsoever. They lost their 3 games they had on the road this week. So
Islanders just whooped their ass.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean they lost against the Senators, for Christ's sake. I mean, give me a break.
They could potentially have a hard time against the Toronto Maple Leafs, who are going to be their first round
Don't
opponent.
tell me that, because John will never let me live it down. Come on, stop doing that.
But the Stars
Dude,
and
if
Moon
Toronto-
keep lining against Toronto, and they're down to 1 goaltender. They actually had to call in a Spruce Kings alumni to be their emergency backup last night.
I heard about that. Yeah.
If Toronto beats Tampa in the first round, Scott, where are you going to hide?
I'm not going to hide. I'll take the abuse, and I know John.
I'm not gonna do it. I don't care. Until they get into the Stanley Cup Finals, I don't care. They're
Okay,
dead.
give me a break.
They are dead to me.
Anytime you're going to take,
I
anytime
will
you get a chance
bet
to
you.
shoot shots
I
at me,
will
you're going to
bet
do it.
you. I will bet you that the comments are going to fly.
Oh yeah, I mean, and dude, anything to poke at Scott, I'm there
Yeah,
for.
it's, I mean, the host gets all the grief.
Yeah, you better bubble.
So, yeah.
You better bubble wrap yourself that day.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, the most important thing is I just want to hear Ron talk about how great Connor McDavid is for the next couple of
What
minutes.
if-
Oh my God.
That's all I want to hear.
151.
Broken record.
151 puts him at 16th all time as far as points in a season. He's going to have a hard time
I mean,
catching up
Gretzky's
with
got like 14 or 13 of those records, right? I mean,
actually only 10. Mario's got 4. Steve Yzerman is in there. Phil Esposito is in there. Bernie Nichols from the Los Angeles Kings is in there. Yermer Yager is in there. And
Yeah,
Pat
he's ahead of Bernie
LaFontaine
though,
is in there.
right? Because Bernie got 150, so he's ahead of Bernie.
He's got 151, so he's ahead of Bernie Nichols.
Yeah.
Phil Esposito has 152. With 2 games remaining for the Edmonton Oilers, it's quite conceivable that you're going to see Connor McDavid move up to 14th, take over for Steve Yzerman, and then be behind the likes of Mario Lemieux and Wayne Gretzky, who
one game or 2 games
dominate.
left. Edmonton.
Two.
Two games left.
Edmonton's got 2 games left. So, and their schedule, they played the San Jose Sharks yesterday and they beat them 6-1. Connor McDavid had 3 points in that game. They play the Colorado Avalanche on the 11th. Colorado is playing tonight. Colorado is looking like they're going to finish at the top, but when you look at the Edmonton Oilers, their last game is at home against the San Jose Sharks. So with 2 games, you have to think that Connor McDavid's probably good for 4 points. And again, if he gets 4 points, that puts him at
4 points in 2
155,
games, really?
tied for Steve Yzerman.
Oh yeah, dude, no problem.
He's going to get 4 points in 2 games.
Of course, he gets 4 points in 1 game, dude.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, he's actually the amount of numbers that this guy has is insane. He's 151 points. He's plus 22 on the season. When you think about, some of the bigger things, he leads game-winning goals with 11. Now he's tied. Leon Draisaitl has 11. David Pasternak has 11. There's a few players that have 11 game-winning goals. But seriously, Connor McDavid has really been lighting the lamp. If you think about it, nobody has scored as many points as Connor McDavid since 1995, 1996, when Mario Lemieux had 161 points and Jaromir Jagr had 149. So we're talking 30 years almost.
That's pretty elite company right there, Ron.
Yeah, no, it is. And I mean, the thing is Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, the rest of the Edmonton Oilers, they have the number one power play right now in the NHL. They're firing on all cylinders. Everybody is healthy. And they've got a fairly respectable, like I said, 2 games to close out the regular season.
Yeah.
There's other teams that are going the opposite direction. I kind of alluded to it with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Toronto has to make it through the first round. Like the wheels on that bus just keep falling off in the first round for that team. They just can't make it out of the first round. They've got every opportunity except for net minding, except for their goaltender situation, because they're in a cap situation. That cap situation, as we know from Tampa Bay, changes when you get to the postseason. But in the regular season, they can't bring in any other goaltender, so they have to bring in these emergency backups. So Jet Alexander was the backup goaltender yesterday. Jet Alexander, 3 years ago, played for the Prince George Spruce Kings. He's playing for University of Toronto right now. So they got a college kid in there to play. Samsonov actually looked like he got hurt late stages of the second period yesterday, so there was a little bit of a question mark as to whether or not Samsonov or Alexander was going to start the third period. As the game rolled on and Toronto built up a 7-1 lead, they put Jet Alexander in for the last minute and 10 seconds. So the kid did get some NHL time, which is, kind of cool. But yeah, there's definitely, when you look around the league, there's some injuries. And I mean, Philadelphia is not heading to the postseason, but I'm just looking and there's a player down on the ice right now for the Philadelphia Flyers. But Minnesota, that's where I wanted to kind of go with the injury reports. Ekman Ek, who is one of the leading defensemen for the Minnesota Wild, took a ringer off the side of his left leg. And he is in a great deal of difficulty right now. Minnesota Wild have secured a postseason spot. They have 100 points. They are 2 points behind the Dallas Stars and the Colorado Avalanche, who both have 102 points. Colorado has a game in hand that they're playing tonight. The wild card race, the Seattle Kraken have actually locked up the first wild card spot, so they'll finish in 7th place.
Congratulations to Seattle.
To the Seattle Kraken, yeah, you bet. The race is on for the 2 Canadian teams, the Winnipeg Jets and the Calgary Flames. Winnipeg Jets have 3 games remaining. They have 91 points. Calgary lost in a shootout last night.
I mean, nobody in this panel likes Calgary, so it's okay.
Well, I want to talk about this with Ron for whenever we get a chance here.
We have to be fair because, I mean, we talk about all of the teams, right? Like at times we take our turn and we talk about all of the teams. Sometimes we don't want to talk about Tampa Bay, but we still talk about Tampa Bay. We'll talk about Calgary.
Ron, explain this to me. Go look at the win totals for Winnipeg and Calgary and explain to me how someone with 8 more wins in the regular season is like tied for the last wild card spot. For anyone who doesn't know,
what John is talking about,
16 loser points.
16 overtime losses, which gives them a single point. The Winnipeg Jets have 3 overtime losses. So Calgary has 13 additional points from their overtime losses. The Winnipeg Jets have 7 more regulation time victories with 44. Calgary has 37. So those 14 points allows Calgary to get to within 1 with their 13 extra bonus points for an overtime loss. Overtime loss could be the overtime or the shootout loss like last night to the Vancouver Canucks.
Well, here's to Calgary being limited in the first round. I'm just saying.
Calgary's not going to make it, and to be honest with you, the Winnipeg Jets, even if they make it, like they're not going to be able to take on the Vegas Golden Knights. They're not going to be able to take on any of those teams. When you look at the Pacific Division, the Vegas Golden Knights have 107 points. The Edmonton Oilers have 105. And then you've got Dallas, Colorado with 102, and then 3 teams with 100 points each, Minnesota and Los Angeles. Seattle Kraken still have, like I said, 3 games remaining. They're essentially going to finish over 100 points as well. So really, what is Calgary and Winnipeg going to do if either one of those 2 teams make it in? By the way, Winnipeg has the tiebreaker over the Calgary Flames. So, I mean, even if they finish tied for points, which right now they're 1-point differential, Winnipeg will end up advancing in. So certainly the pressure is on the Calgary Flames. They've had a couple of big wins last week, but it's not quite enough. And the same thing can kind of be said about the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now, neither of the wild card spots have been locked up in the East. Right now, the Florida Panthers have 91 with 2 games remaining. The New York Islanders have 91 points as well with 2 games remaining. And the Pittsburgh Penguins have 90 points with 2 games remaining. So Pittsburgh has been doing... Sorry?
Another team we love to hate on this show. I can't stand the Pittsburgh Penguins.
The Pittsburgh Penguins. All right. So anyways, the Pittsburgh Penguins, though, 17 seasons in a row, they've made it to the postseason. They are in danger of not making it this year. One question I got for you, Elliot. Who has 3 brothers in the NHL now?
Couldn't tell you, Ron.
2 of them play for the New Jersey Devils. That's why I threw that at you.
He's an Islanders fan, not a J Devils fan.
Yeah, I'm not a Devils fan.
All right. I know you talk about them and you do follow them because you're kind of in that.
Well, yeah, proximity. I mean, I do keep an eye out for the New York teams.
Yeah, so
but
Luke
the Devils are a New York team, but
well, tomato, whatever.
Like
Luke
the Jets and the
Hughes
Giants are for New Jersey, not New York. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it is what it is. Yeah.
Luke Hughes has signed a 3-year entry-level contract with the New Jersey Devils. So that means that Luke Hughes, who's 19 years old, will be on the same team as his brother Jack Hughes. The third brother is Quinn Hughes, who plays defense for the Vancouver Canucks.
All right. So maybe they should trade for Quinn Hughes, huh?
Yeah, maybe they could. Maybe they should. Maybe they should have. But Matthew Tkachuk and Brady Tkachuk right now are perhaps the best known brother.
How's Patrick Kane
NHL.
doing with the Rangers? How's Patrick Kane been doing with the Rangers?
Patrick Kane was injured and has missed a couple of games.
Has he?
So
I don't
they might
follow hockey until the playoffs start. So
yeah, they might just sit him until these last 2 games play out because they're not really going to go very far. Again, you're in the Metropolitan Division with the New Jersey Devils and the Carolina Hurricanes. All 3 of them are already sewing up a playoff spot. It's just the wild card positions that need to be determined. The Boston Bruins, of course, they're on their way. And right now, with 15 minutes remaining in the third period, they lead the Philadelphia Flyers by a score of 4-2. So they potentially have the opportunity to take over the most wins ever in a regular season by an NHL team, previously held by the Montreal Canadiens and the Detroit Red Wings at 62. Boston is tied with 62 right now, and they have the 3 games remaining, including the one that they're just playing the last 15 minutes of right now.
Go Oilers.
Yeah, go Oilers. Yeah, I mean, we can go. It's too early because we have till next Sunday. But next Sunday, we definitely have to sit down and we have to look at the playoff matchups and we have to kind of figure out who's going to be advancing and who's going to end up being upset in the first round and all the rest of that. But there's only a handful of games left. Crosby, by the way, hit 1,500 points with his 3-point game yesterday against the Detroit Red Wings. There's some big numbers coming out right now. perhaps one of the biggest surprises is when you start looking at some of these big teams and big players that have been putting up big numbers. Washington Capitals have been going absolutely backwards this year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, they're out of the playoffs, aren't they, Ron?
Yes.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, no, they're down near the bottom.
No
They're
Ovi this year.
Yeah, they're finishing. They're going to maybe get to 80 points. They've got 77 right now. There's worse teams out there. Montreal's got 68. Columbus has 56. But this becomes the Connor Bedard hunt. Chicago has 56. Anaheim has 57. San Jose has 60. So the thing is that if you're in the bottom 5, you have an opportunity to be able to pick first overall with the way the draft lottery system works. If you're 6th, you only have a 50% chance of becoming the 5th pick. So nobody talks about tanking as far as teams go, but everybody knows that it happens. And like I said, the Montreal Canadiens, they were putting up some wins, and then all of a sudden they just kind of went the opposite direction. They've got 68 points, and they are in that 5th spot right now. Arizona has 1 point better at 69. So Montreal is still very much in the Connor Bedard hunt, but the top 2 teams that have that opportunity to pick first overall appear to be the Columbus Blue Jackets and or the Chicago Blackhawks. Anaheim close with 57 points. So all of those to be determined over the next couple of days. By the way, the last regular season game will be played on Friday. There's no games on Saturday, and then the postseason starts up on the 17th.
That Monday?
Yeah. 17th is the Monday.
I'm here for it.
Mhm.
Like I was saying before you jumped on, I don't pay attention to anything, but on my phone I have Sportsnet for Oilers, and I got the Zone for football. I don't care about anything else, especially right now. Like, you tell me the Raptors are in the playoffs or whatever, great. Don't care. Good job. I'm so bitter towards basketball these days. But,
Basketball or Toronto? There seems to be
no,
a
not
theme here.
no. I'd listen. This is the thing with the Leafs. I've made my put my stick in the dirt, and this is where it is. Until I've just given so much of my life for cheering for the Leafs. Like my entire childhood is memories of going down college with my dad on Saturday nights and going to the games and the smell and the aroma of the gardens, and it was just like this larger than life experience. And then I just realized what it was doing to me. It was literally sucking my soul, because it was just like they just kept mediocre teams, and they never, they just and the Leafs, the fans would just be overblown. Every year was their year. Matthews was the greatest thing ever, and all of this. I had enough, man. I just said, listen, until they get to the finals, I don't know.
Let's see them get out of the first round before they get to the finals.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, it comes down to that too, right? But I mean, if you were to talk to a true Toronto fan right now, I mean, we talked about this a couple of shows ago, where there's fans like the Toronto Maple Leaf fans, the Montreal Canadiens fans. They cheer for them win, lose, or draw. It's getting extremely difficult for a Toronto Maple Leafs fan. It has been for perhaps the last 5 or 6 years, where they thought they've had it all and lost it in the first round. But you talk to a Toronto Maple Leaf fan right now, and they're going to go, oh no, Austin Matthews and William Nylander and Mitch Marner, and they're going to run down a huge line of Toronto Maple Leaf players. The problem is that you put 3 or 4 of those Toronto Maple Leaf players and stack them together for points, they still don't equal Connor McDavid. 21st player as far as points go, 84 points for Austin Matthews. William Nylander, 83. That is 167 points. So that is better than Connor McDavid. But you have Leon Draisaitl right there in the mix. You also have Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, who's over 103 points. So yeah. So the thing is that you have nearly 400 points in 3 players for the Edmonton Oilers, with the Toronto Maple Leafs not quite the same. Now, not to take anything away from the Toronto Maple Leafs, because they have been having a very good season, but this is one of those years where you take the Boston Bruins out of the mix and the West is stronger than the East. It makes for a really interesting dynamic. If the teams can play out the way they are on paper, there is no reason not to expect to see a finals between the Boston Bruins and the Edmonton Oilers.
So it looks like the Leafs will play the Bolts in the first round.
That has been determined. That has been set. It's one of the few things that have been set. So many other things are still a little too close. There will be a little bit more clarity, probably middle of the week next week.
Yeah,
What's
Toronto,
up, Elliot?
Realize if Toronto knocks the Bolts out, I'll never hear the end of it.
Elliot, I'll just join in the fun, man.
Yeah, John Olsen being a quasi Toronto fan notwithstanding, I will never hear it from these guys. I will never live it down from these guys. If Toronto, the epitome of first round knockouts that can't get past the first round, if they beat the Bolts in that first round series, I am doomed. I am doomed. These guys will never let me live it down.
He gets it.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, I swear.
I mean, if I thought the Columbus Blue Jackets situation was bad, the
Leafs never win the President's Trophy. That's the kicker.
Yeah.
That's the kicker. The kicker is that you guys won the President's Trophy and then got swept.
Yes.
That's
Tampa has to win to keep that first round
jinx
knockout going, the streak. It's 5 years in a row now, right? Out in the first round. Toronto.
More than that. I mean, if you can go back a couple of decades and you'll see that the Toronto Maple Leafs never made it out of the first round.
I think there's a 5-year streak right now.
For the Leafs?
Yeah, for the Leafs.
Oh, dude, we're a long time from. Ron will remember this, like the Philly and Toronto playoffs. That was
from back in the day,
2003, 2002. That was actually one of the last Leaf games I ever went to. Was that overtime where Jeremy Roenick scored? I was at that game, and it was just like I love Jeremy Roenick, for the record. Just saying, Jeremy Roenick was amazing. Yeah.
I kind of miss him on the broadcast because nobody hiring.
I remember the Phillies.
Clarity. The last time the Maple Leafs won a playoff series was 2004. The Toronto Maple Leafs beat the Ottawa Senators in the first round.
Wow.
Yeah,
2004.
Great. That being said, we always owned the Senators. Anytime we played the Senators in the playoffs, we always beat them.
Yeah.
Because Ottawa's a flip-flop city and a flip-flop fan base. So. Oh, sorry. Did I say that out loud? I'm sorry, Mr. Microphone.
Some
Calgary and Ottawa fans should just get together and just.
Didn't Ryan Reynolds just buy part of that team?
Sorry,
Ryan Reynolds is not. It's not official, but the talk was that he was going to purchase the Ottawa Senators.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or at least a portion of it, I think, because he's all caught up in his overseas soccer stuff now too. So.
Can I start calling Ottawa now?
Right. Right.
Yeah. Sure. I guess it's good for the city.
When's the first games of the playoffs start, Ron?
April 17th.
April 17th. So 6 days from now, which is Saturday.
No.
Do
the math, buddy.
Monday.
I can't add. I'm sorry.
I know,
right?
You have
just a quick little stat. We do it all the time. We've been doing it for years. When the New York Rangers won their Stanley Cup at the time, they were the longest team.
Mark Messier.
Yeah, so dating back to the original expansion year of the NHL, there are 11 active teams that haven't won a Stanley Cup since their inception. The record for the longest drought ever is currently held by the Toronto Maple Leafs, sitting at 55 years since they won the Cup in 1967.
Go Bolts, man. I'm just saying. Go Bolts, please.
But see, this is
Yeah.
the beautiful thing of becoming an Oilers fan now. That stuff doesn't even affect me anymore. I've been alive for all of the championships of this team.
I mean,
I actually
there you
remember them.
I'm only a year older than that, Ron. That's how long it's been for the Toronto Maple Leafs. I mean, come
67,
on.
man. Like,
Yeah.
the year will live in infamy.
Year of
Leaf
Expo '67.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, it's just crazy when you think about it. The longest drought ever, 55 years, to the 55 years to the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah.
That was the year before the expansion, right?
I believe 60. It's the year of the expansion, 67.
Yeah. I mean, it was last year.
So-
Of the 16 league.
So their competition was 5 other teams for all of their championships.
I think they beat Montreal in the finals, didn't they?
Oh yeah, they beat them all in the finals because there was only 6 teams. I mean,
That's yeah.
and then look at the misery that is the Toronto Maple Leafs organization.
Toronto has suffered so greatly.
Wait a minute, where'd these other teams come from?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. That was literally what it was like. It was like, oh, all of a sudden we're playing the California Golden Seals.
Hell, didn't the Argonauts win a CFL title since?
Oh yeah, man.
Several.
Argos won last year or something.
Yeah, there you go.
There were several seasons.
Well, every Toronto team has
And the
won.
Raptors was one of
Blue
the
Jays won 2 World
Raptors won.
Series since then.
Jays won 2.
Yep.
I was alive for all that. Enjoyed them tremendously.
Yes.
That is another reason why I am taking a break from the Toronto Maple Leafs.
The last time the Maple Leafs won a championship, John wasn't even alive.
I was a decade from being conceived, buddy. That's how long ago it was. So I'm done. I'm just like I can't do it anymore to my mental health, man.
He wasn't even a twinkle in his mama's eye at that point.
No.
In her mama's eye, no. So.
No. I mean, my real mother was 10 years old, I think. Like, I mean, yeah.
Oh,
She was born in like 56, 57, so
I was
yeah.
in first grade.
I was. I mean, actually, I was less than a year old because if it was 67, then it would have been like in the summer of '67, and I was born in September the year before, so I wasn't even a year old then at that point.
You were in diapers.
Yeah, I was only 3 years old.
Yeah, I was in diapers at that point.
Man, you guys are.
Elliot was in high school.
Angry.
We won't go there, you know what I'm saying? But
Well, John. Yeah, I mean, we've been around since the dinosaurs. Come on.
Oh, dude, I know, man. I mean,
yeah.
Down, Dino, down.
Yeah, down, Dino. Yeah.
Down Dino.
Did you guys see the story about the AA baseball team that they lost a game 7-5,
But through a no-hitter.
through a no-hitter?
Yes.
I can't
The
even.
pitcher kept hitting the batters and walking the batters. And
Walking
know,
and ball pitches and this, that.
yes.
They
I
scored
can't even
7
imagine
runs-
the scorecard on that.
7 runs in the last inning.
7
There were
runs
5
on
errors,
7
2 runs, and no hits.
Yes. Yes. There
And
was
he-
also a college kid that hit for the cycle and threw a no-hitter in the same game.
Wow.
And his name is Otani.
No, it's not Otani.
I know. I'm
By the way,
joking.
Ron.
You gotta feel bad for the Rocket City Trash Pandas because
The Trash Pandas. That's such a great
They-
name. I'm
they-
sorry. It is.
they-
It is
they
such a
pitched.
great
They
name.
gave a 1 hit in a doubleheader and split.
Yeah. The
Ron,
Trash
how's the,
Pandas is such a great freaking name. I'm sorry.
Isn't that freaking amazing?
Yes.
Ron,
Yeah.
Ben's got
how's
a question for me.
Yes. How's the triathlon training coming?
Not too bad. Hitting the pool 2-3 times a week, getting in some runs, and I'm not too worried about the bike. But yeah, I'm getting ready. It's coming down to crunch time now. We're 4 weeks away.
Tell you what, I have a little statement for your opponents in this thing. You better swim and run like crazy because once you get on the bike, school's out.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope to pull a little bit of a Leon Sanders. I'll tell you, Leon Sanders.
You are an inspiration, Mr. Gallo. I'm just going to say that, okay? You are an inspiration.
By the way, did you see the the clip of the Paris-Roubaix race
Yes,
again?
Canadian. The Canadian girl won the women's.
Yeah.
Right.
They had
Yeah.
another bad wreck too.
Yeah, no, that was yeah. I don't know. I love cycling, but I just can't see myself riding on those cobbles on the Paris.
No kidding.
You know, the thing is they shoot you around a little bit, and if you're in that group in that tight peloton, yeah. I mean, what are you supposed to do?
There's nothing you can do.
No, absolutely not. Anyways, gentlemen, I've got to take care of something here within the next 20 minutes. So I think I'm going to say thank you very much.
We're at the end of the show anyway, Ron, so it's all good. I appreciate just a note on the show. We do have Derek Laughlin scheduled for next Sunday night.
Oh, draft prep.
Yeah, draft prep for the NFL draft. And Ron, if you want to come on and talk football, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, you can come on and talk hockey. We'll have a 6-man show. I don't care. We can talk both. But Derek Laughlin is scheduled to appear on the show next Sunday. We will confirm that as the week progresses.
Yeah, let's try to get him in at the start time.
Correct. We'll get him in here at 7:30 so we can get Ron on at 8 o'clock. And if Derek wants to hang around and talk hockey, he can do that. Although, is Chicago even in the playoffs this year? I don't think.
No. I just finished saying that Chicago right now is in the Connor Bedard playoffs.
Yeah, okay. But, it's so if he wants to sit around and listen to how great other teams are in the NHL other than the ones that are in the playoffs, he can do that, but that's okay. Anyway, I want to thank Mr. Ron Gallo for being our guest this week. A third week in a row, Ron. Thank you very much for doing that. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Ron.
And on behalf of
the training.
Right. And on behalf of my co-host, Mr. Elliot Big E Lamba, Bill's Mafia member, Mr. John G. Olsen, and what about those Cowboys, Mr. Ken Koslow? I am the Sports Nerd. We are here every Sunday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching the replays. And on that note, we are out. Elliot, hit the outro.
Well, there you have it, Nerd Nation. Another Sunday episode of the Sports Nerd Show in the books, and we are still alive to tell about it. Now, on behalf of our host, Scott, the Sports Nerd, right? And his co-host, John Olsen, Ken Koslow, our two lovable members in the Ram Pack, and yes, me, Big E, the entire pack would once again like to thank you all for participating with us in the best 90 minutes of sports smack talk on the web today. So until next Sunday night, dear nation, we would like to leave you with a quick PSA. Please stay safe, please practice social distancing, and for heaven's sake, please wear a damn mask. You all just got hit with a pack rant from the Rant Pack, and with that, fellas, we are out.